Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Golden Talks session. Today, it's going to be an English version. So, as we start all our Golden Talks, I want to know how are you today, guys? Wherever you are in the world, I want to say hello and thank you to be here watching Golden Talks today. Here we have many important guys that we interviewed in English. We have names like Carlos Bor, Carlos Sierra, Sandesh Hall, Enil Nair, Flora Bariel. So we have many guys, and today we have a very special guest here from Poland. He's known because he's an Oracle Ways director. He is the youngest OCM in Poland, and he is one of the members and organizers of the POG, which is the Polish Oracle Users Groups. And today we're gonna know how was the trajectory and career of this amazing guy. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are here proud to announce that in Golden Talks today we have Kamil Stawiarski. Oh my God, I think I didn't said correct. Please correct me, Camille. And
It
welcome.
was almost perfect. Welcome, and cheers to everyone.
Cheers,
Nice,
guys.
nice to be here.
If you don't open your beer yet, please, this is the time. And let's cheers. So, Camille, should we start? Can you please correct me how it's the right pronunciation of your name? Please tell me.
Stawiarski, Kamil Stawiarski. Maybe a bit
Kamil
tricky.
Stawiarski. Okay, for us Brazilian guys, it's not so easy to perform this pronunciation. So I'm gonna keep in trying. Okay, so Kamil Stawiarski. All right,
Perfect.
good. So look the image behind you. I can see that we have the word map with which it's very nice in your wall. I like that very much. And one thing that you're gonna talk to us today is that you are a traveling guys. You already went to many countries uh, to travel and also to talk about the community and your work as an Oracle Waste director, right?
Yeah, I love traveling. Actually, it was that the map was a gift from my close friend, whom
Mm-hmm.
I know for last 30 years. And
Cool.
we know each other from a preschool, so it was a gift from him when I moved to the new apartment with my girlfriend. He gave me this
Cool.
because yeah, everyone knows that I love to travel and I travel a lot. And well,
Mm-hmm.
I used to travel before the whole pandemic craziness. I used to travel a lot. Not so much, but I keep trying. Um, and I travel for work. I travel to speak on the conferences, and I love to travel personally to just visit all the different countries. I was not in Brazil yet, but it is very high on my to-do list. So as soon as possible, maybe I'm going to be able to meet you in person.
All right, cool. Come to Brazil. Here we have a lot of good things to. Okay, and you have a very good friend to have this gift. This gift, yeah, it must be a very nice friend. Uh, so, to we start your talking in the journey with your career, can you please tell us how was the beginning? How started your interest in the computers in IT world? So you did some course, you have a friend that inspired you. So tell us how was this process?
Well, actually, it was a bit funny because, well, it all started in high school uh, when I got my first computer, and it actually started in high school when I was at a gym, actually in a sauna after gym. So I was there with my other friend from high school. And well, he is a born sales guy and a born, storyteller. So we were sitting there in a sauna with a guy who, well, it has occurred that he's an IT director in one of the companies, sales companies in the little city from which we came from. And well, he said that he has no team, very low budget, and they have problems setting up their website in PHP and MySQL. And my friend who was sitting next to me said, "Oh, so you are extremely lucky because this guy," he said, pointing at me, "is extremely skillful in programming and especially in PHP, and he is awesome with databases, especially MySQL. And well, we are young, so we will be cheap, so he will do it for you." And I was so extremely shocked that I actually didn't say anything. Just, like a good wingman, I was just nodding. When you are a wingman and your friend is telling bullshit, you just sit there and nod.
All
So
right.
actually, yeah, after that, I went to another town to a bookshop and bought some books about PHP and MySQL. And we did this website and we did some animations and we did actually everything. And that's how I got into databases actually. And well, a bit earlier, I started to learn programming, but this time when I did something that was actually over there and visible, fell in love with programming and I chose to go to college uh, to actually Military University of Warsaw to study cybernetics, and I dreamed of being a programmer and do cryptology stuff and so on. So this is how it all began. And well, a few months later, after going to college, I had an opportunity to go for not paid internship as a programmer, as a PL SQL programmer. And well, I thought it was Pascal actually, because little
Oh
did I
my
know
God.
back then. And I was using MySQL, and I thought, MySQL, Oracle, what's the difference? It's just SQL here, some Pascal here. We will do it. Yes. So for next year, I was working for this company for free, but my boss back then was giving us books because he was a teacher at the Oracle University, and he brought to me and my friends from my dormitory in college, because of course I dragged my friends into it. Uh, he brought us a lot of books, and we were sitting there learning, eating pizza and drinking beer, and doing some stuff in PL SQL Form 6. And yeah, and this was the beginning.
It was like a programmer life, not actually a DBA as you started, right?
Yeah, yeah, it started as a programmer life, and I still am a programmer for a lot of time. But well, again, starting as a DBA was also by an accident, because in that company, when we were students working as an internship on one project, my boss asked, "Okay, who of you knows something about Linux?" And I said, "Well, I just installed Aurox, which was Polish edition of Linux 15 or 20 years ago. And I just did it, and I installed some Red Hat 4, I think, back then. So I said, yeah, I know a bit about Linux. And he said, oh, so you are going to be administrator because we have project of migrating 8i database to 10G. So you will set up the environment. So this is how my administrator path began.
Cool, cool. So it was like, as you mentioned, not planned well. So it just happened.
Yeah, it just things started to happen around me, and I was, too excited to do them to think for a minute.
Cool, cool. So before we continue to talk about this DBA journey, I can see here in the chat some guys like Pete the Visser that I interviewed some weeks ago, which was very nice. So I want to cheers for you, Pete. Also, I can see
Hey,
here
Pete.
Rafael Andrade. Yes, Rafael Andrade, which is one of that asked me to bring you here to Golden Talks. Cheers for you too. And also we have
Hey,
here
man.
Erica. Yeah. Uh, Frankie. Hi, Frank. How are you? And he's mentioned a very nice thing, which I will ask to my uh, transmission director put here in the screen about the X. We want to know about the X, you know? So, can you tell us how was this? Why this happened? And you are the guy now know that the DBA that used a X one time. Maybe he was too furious.
Yeah, well, actually, it happened more than once because um, it was on a conference. It was on a
Hmm.
conference in Poland, and it was not precisely a very technical conference. So there was very mixed audience from business and directors and some administrators and so on. And I was asked to make a session about high availability and real application cluster. And I was thinking, well, how am I ever going to explain to technical, non-technical people, DBAs, programmers, and so on, uh, how high availability actually should work? And I was thinking, well, I should grab a server and blow it up, or take a computer and destroy it with an axe. And I actually liked the idea. So I set up environment on two laptops, and during the presentation, I was actually showing that, well, even when one laptop is crashed completely, the environment will be still available. So I had an application connecting to the real application cluster, and I had an axe to destroy everything. Unfortunately, in the example you showed, it has occurred that a desk was very weak one, and everything just broke and collapsed. But well, they remembered it.
This was very cool. I'm for sure that the ones that watch this in live will never forget that. It's a very good class to show how high availability works, right?
Yeah, well, if you say that even if it's gonna be destroyed, it will survive, and then you destroy it, then, well, yeah.
Yeah, that's very nice, very cool. And I have some guys that send me some message say, "Hey, this is DBA. What is he doing with his X?" And I said, "I'm gonna ask him in the Golden Talk. So watch, and we are gonna learn why." Very nice. So going back to your DBA career when you started, how was that after your first experience as a database administrator? Did you like it? Did you thought that it was good be only on programming, or how was that for you? Tell us.
Well, actually, for all my career, I was forced to do both, to be a programmer and be a DBA. Because, well, I was working in a company which didn't have actual DBAs at the beginning. We hired a few just before the company collapsed, coincidence. Uh, and and for the whole time, I was forced to do both jobs, and I actually liked both of them. And to be honest, I never really completely understood the distinguish between one and the other job, because for me, a skilled DBA sooner or later has to become a programmer in order to understand the database, in order to understand Linux or other operating system on which everything is working. So sooner or
Hmm.
later, you have to do something with programming. If you want to tune a database, you have to understand what's
Yeah,
going
that's
on
true.
algorithm wise, right? And you are an administrator, so you are using programs written by other people. If you are training yourself in being a developer, you can, for example, with Linux, you can go to the source code. You can write yourself a tool when you need it, which is extremely helpful. And I write a lot of tools for myself. Uh, and when you try to understand a database on a very low level, like well, Tunnel Potter was doing, or Fritz Hoagland does, you need to be also a developer. You need to think like a developer, like an architect, like a DBA. So sooner or later, you will have to combine all those knowledge paths into one. And the same thing is with developers. If you are only a developer and you don't understand a core of database, a core of Linux, of operating systems, CPUs, and so on, how can you write programs which work really efficient? How can you tune programs? Sooner or later, this knowledge has to be incorporated into your world. Otherwise, you will be missing something to understand what's going on in the whole environment. You will be missing some piece of crucial information, which sooner or later leads to either crashing your program and losing data, or just having a program that works insufficiently. So I am a big fan of combining all those paths together and trying to learn uh, all possible branches. So yeah, I always have been a DBA and a developer, and I can't really say that I'm one or the other right now.
Right, very cool. And one thing that we also discussed about this in some others Golden Talk session, and it's exactly what you mentioned, that combining many different skills make you a better DBA, right? Because as you said, to look into the database performance and things like that, if you have some knowledge with programming, with operation system, and with maybe storage and networks, it's gonna make you understand or find quick the solution on what is going on, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's true, and I will always encourage people to go beyond the regular labels like I'm a DBA, I'm a developer, and well, no, we are IT guys. We specialize in a very different fields sometimes, but well, I like to learn at least one new language each year, at least a bit. This year is a year for Rust for me. Don't have much time to master it, but I'm still trying. I love the language. Um, so
Cool.
just keep trying, learn networks, learn virtualization, learn Linux, learn SQL, PL SQL, everything that combines to the
Hmm.
environment on which you work. Because especially right now, when there are the times of the cloud, everything is a software, right? Based on some is emulated hardware, actually, virtualized emulated hardware. So it's easier to understand the whole environment if you try to learn all those different things all together. It's not easy, it takes a lot of time, and well, it shows you how poor your knowledge is, because the more you learn, the more you don't know actually, but it's fun.
Yes. Yes, that's true. And before we continue to talk about this comparison of the on-premise and cloud world, I have here in the chat a comment from Gianni Celeza. And
Hey
I'm sorry,
Jenny.
I know, yeah, I'm not sure if it's she or he. I'm sorry for that, but the question is very
It's a
good.
it's a
He
it's a he.
So
I know
this
this guy.
person, yeah, this guy say, Camille, what's the drink tonight? So tell us. I saw that it's like a dark drinking. So
Yeah, okay. So it's a dark beer from
mhm.
local craft brewery called Cormoran, and it's a dark beer based on honey. So
Mm,
it's dark and sweet, like my soul,
yeah, cool,
and
very
strong.
nice. It's okay, and it's cold. You drink cold or in a natural temperature?
A bit cold, a bit
A
cold.
bit cold.
Like
All right.
not extremely cold, but yeah, a bit cold.
Okay, I just asked it because when you come to Brazil, you're gonna see that we usually drink beer very cold, and it's very nice. So it's a very good experience that you're gonna have when you
Yeah,
come to Brazil. Okay.
for 2 weeks in Mexico, I drank extremely cold beer because it's the only way.
Yeah. So you already have this experience. So yeah, it's almost like that. Cool. Right. So you was talking about on-premise and cloud, yeah. If you if you wanted to summarize the word in an on-premise and now with this cloud technology, what do you think it's the biggest change, and what the professionals that work as an IT professional, as a DBA, and also programmer should do for the next years?
Mm, okay, so I understand the whole cloud trend. I understand why it is happening. Well, and basically because the big corporations wants it to happen because it's the best the best way to earn money right now, because you earn money by monthly fee or something like that, right? So it's a constant, and I understand why it's comfortable and scalable and so on, but I'm not a big fan. um I'm not a big fan for many reasons. One of them is uh, a strictly uh, mm, well, performance wise and diagnostic wise, because when something goes wrong in a cloud environment, you actually have absolutely no control over it. And well, I'm specializing in recovering databases that are completely lost, like some kind of fuck up leads to complete database crash, and well, problems with recovering from backups and so on. Mm, when when virtual machine crashes with a lot of containers inside, or with virtual machine with another virtual machines, or some autonomous services crash, you as a customer have no control over it, and well, you can't actually diagnose it, and you have to rely on a vendor support. And to be honest, well, uh, I personally and a lot of people all over the world don't have good experience with the vendor support when it comes to solve difficult problems. And the other thing is, well, I have a lot of concerns regarding the security because we are giving away a lot of our information to cloud vendors, and well, we are doing it all the time. Either this is the private sector with our phones or Dropbox or Google emails and so on. But in this case, we are giving away the whole production systems, the whole set of the databases. And well, cloud vendor can tell you that everything is encrypted on disk, and this is true. But well, there was one case of Amazon customer, Capital One Bank, that had all the production servers in Amazon, and the former employee of Amazon used knowledge about holes in the security in the firewalls to break into the Amazon into the virtual machines of Capital One. And she stole 100 million of user data
Oh
from
my
a bank
God.
accounts. She used the servers to mine bitcoins and so on. And I think she was caught only because she bragged about it on Slack. So it was not like she was caught immediately. And well, most recently, one of my talks that I'm also going to show in London in, I think, less than 2 weeks, is about this kind of situation and how cloud vendor employee can actually access virtual machines memory and change it without your knowledge. So, well, I'm showing that I don't care if a database is being encrypted on disk. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if cloud vendor employee doesn't have access to your virtual machine. This person doesn't have to have actual access to virtual machine. If the administrator have access to physical machine on which virtual machines reside, I show in my talk that with a simple malware scanner, you can redefine malware scanner rules and find in-memory unencrypted or database blocks and use patterns to extract all the necessary data and even modify virtual machines memory just like that on the run without any problem. So yeah, I'm a bit torn with this cloud world right now. Because on the one hand, it seems like a flexible and well powerful environment. On the other hand, it looks like too flexible environment and too easy to be manipulated, crashed, and hacked. So yeah, not a big fan of such fast change vector right now.
Cool, cool. And very good case that you shared to us. And the security is still one of the biggest things that we need to be concerned, right? About the cloud stuff that we are seeing. Many vendors working on it, right?
Yeah. Well, hopefully they are working.
Me too. All right, all right. So, continues about your trajectory. So, you said about the programming, then you started as a DBA, and also you have a blog, and also you become an OCM and Oracle ACE director. Which you, which order these things happen? You first did a blog, then you became an OCM, and after that Oracle ACE and director. Can you tell us about these things?
Yeah. Yeah, the first thing was to start a blog, and actually it started as a way of, well, documenting stuff for myself. And I was thinking that, well, I can write it down and save it on my computer, but when I do it on a blog, it is public. I am being forced by myself to make very good research and try to make it as good as possible because someone may read it. So yeah, I chose a blog form to force myself to learn um, in a more precise way. And I was doing quite a lot of trainings a few years ago. So when I was doing trainings, some interesting case came at the training, and we created a new problem, solved it, and I always thought, it would be nice to share it with someone on the internet. So I always put the things that we did in a blog form. Um, and well, I actually uh, started blogging. Then I started my certification path uh, because I was already doing trainings, and
Mm-hmm.
well, I didn't have any college degree because I never finished college. I stopped on the third year. I had no time to go to college because I was working full time and traveling all over the Poland to make trainings for Oracle University on my third year of college, and I was doing a lot of stuff back then, so
Mm-hmm.
didn't have. So instead, I started.
Oops. Acho- I think his camera just stopped. So let's we check what is going on. Hold on for a second. We are live, so these kind of things happen. I'm sorry for that, guys. Let's recheck here if it was the connection, and maybe our guest just lose his connection through our streaming. Okay. So, meanwhile, our guys from background check what is going on. There is any questions that you wanna ask to Camille? This is the time. Just put the question on the chat, and when he come back, I'm gonna start to ask him these questions. Okay? All right, all right. The people from the direction of the stream, it's checking here. They are talking to me here, but you are not able to listen. Okay, so hold on for a little bit more. Okay, they are checking what is going on. Oh, who we just send a message in here to us? Alex Zabala. Hello, Alex from US. How are you? I'm very happy to see you here in Golden Talks once again. Okay. Okay, we are still having some issues here, guys. So just hold on for a little bit more because we are still checking the connection with our guest, and soon we are gonna be back. Okay. Sometimes life happen these things. Okay. Frankie, I say cloud crashed community. Yes, maybe someone did some wreck and changed something there. Oh, Camille, it's back. Hello, Camille. I'm
I
seeing you. Yeah, I'm listening to you too now.
Yeah, okay, great.
Okay, okay.
So here I am talking bad words about cloud, and the cloud got angry,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Frank just said here in the chat that cloud crashed. Okay, but we are back. So,
Okay, so what, where did I finish?
uh, to be honest, I don't remember exactly the which part, but we are talking about your period when you started your path to the certification. That's what I remember.
Yes. So yeah, yeah. So I was start saying that I never finished college, and instead of finishing college, I started the certification. Mm, when I decided to start my own company and was doing trainings and so on. So yeah, I told myself that, well, this year I'm going to do the whole certification from OCA to OCM. So I did it. And I did it just to have some kind of papers necessary, to create my own company and start doing business because, uh, well, you have to start with something when you don't have a name or tons of money already. You have to start with something.
Yeah.
And well, I became an ace much later when a friend of mine. Well, I was already speaking at some conferences in Poland because I will always liked to do a public speaking and share uh, some interesting stuff and use an X and so on. But a friend of mine said, "Oh, Kamil, let's go to UKOG to the conference. You will meet some interesting people and learn a lot of things. In a few days, you will learn more than on any training in the world." Uh, and well, I went as a regular attendee, and I fell in love in conferences. It was something I knew I want to do. I wanted to do. I wanted to be a speaker. I wanted to travel to meet all those people. I wanted to learn from them. I remember then that, well, yes, actually, in 3 days, I learned more than in previous half a year because because all those awesome people were over there and they were sharing their knowledge. And on my first UKOG, I met some awesome people, including Pete DeViser, uh,
Oh, very cool.
who is traveling everywhere with his motorcycle. And I remember that I thought,
Yeah,
well, what a crazy dude.
yeah.
Uh,
He's a
and
traveler guy. He lives traveling
Yeah,
around the
he is
world.
the
It's very
really
cool.
the real traveler. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's the traveler. He's the
yeah.
traveler. Uh, so yeah, after my first UKOG, I started to send papers to all the conferences. I started to travel a lot, and there was a time when I was on one conference a month, almost like, you know, 12, 13 conferences a year. It was crazy and a bit too much, but I really loved it. and I really hope to have conferences once again. And I loved the conferences so much that I decided to build my own in Poland, which I did
Oh.
with help. Well, help is very small word for what she did, but with a very, very big help and engagement from my employee and very good friend Luisa. And well, everyone who was ever in at the Polish conference knows who Luisa is, and a lot of people who didn't also know who Luisa is because, well, she's the local queen of the nerds, first of her name at the Polish conference.
Right. So you and her was the ones that founded the POG, right?
Yes. Well, when there was one day when I came to my company and said to my business partners that we are going to start a conference. They were not happy about it because they never saw uh, what benefit can come from it, especially once I told them that we are not going to do this for money. It was almost a deal breaker. And when I told Luisa that we are going to make a conference, an international one for a few hundred people, she was so excited, almost as I was, that while we somehow did it, and we had a lot of help from a lot of great speakers from the whole world. Because when I started to go to the conferences and I started to tell people, hey, we are doing a conference, maybe you would like to come, but this is a small conference. We even don't know if it's gonna last. We mm, have actually nothing interesting to entertain you, but hey, let's come to the conference and drink a beer with us and share knowledge. Well, actually, almost everyone out of those people came. So, well, they were also the speakers like the Pete that we talked about, and Martin Whitlake and Neil Chandler and well, people like Johnny who asked about the beer, and Christian Berg, and well, a lot more. And well, you had an interview with Flora. Well, those people were always so excited and so eager to help us that, well, we were amazed by the amount of speakers that wanted to come and help with organizing our conference. It was awesome. It was fabulous. And now, uh, each year we have a fabulous event with awesome people. Even this year and even last year during the pandemic, we had awesome conference.
Cool.
And well, I think this
When
is
was
mainly
they
because of
started?
the speakers.
Cool. When was the year that POG
Mm,
started?
it was 5 years ago, I think. Yeah, it was 5 years ago. The first POUG was 5 years ago in Warsaw.
Very cool, very cool. And I have one question here from Alex Zabala, Camille. He's saying, please ask to him comment about Oracle sponsoring Oracle users group events. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, Oracle is, at least in Poland. Oh, I know that in other countries it's the same. Oracle is not sponsoring Oracle user events. Uh, Almost never. And well, we were very, very, very uh, well, we were very surprised when
Right.
we came with the proposal of the conference to work in Poland, and they said at the beginning that no, we're not interested, and then they got a bit interest into helping us, but uh, they sponsored us actually once at the big event, and that's it. And
Mhm.
usually there is no money from Oracle to the user groups, and if it is, it's occupied with a lot of work, a lot of papers, and for example, uh, once we, or maybe even twice, a Microsoft sponsored Oracle user group in Poland, our conference, and we didn't even ask them. They came to us and said, "Oh, we heard from all over the world that you are doing a great job building a community in Poland. So can we help you guys?" And we were so surprised with the approach, such a different approach than the Oracle one, that, well, I had to review my opinion about the Microsoft.
Yeah. So this is a pity. It's sad to hear that because the Oracle community around the world, as I could see talking with many people, I can see that there are a lot of people like you, like people that wanted to make POG happen, that do most of the hard work alone without any Oracle support most of the times. But then when they saw that the program, the event, it starts to be bigger and people are interested, uh, they started to look with the other eyes. Not sure if it's the same for you, but I have this feeling when I heard things like that you mentioned.
Yeah, I think it's similar all over the world. I know that Oracle is somehow sponsoring the big events like DOAG or UKUG, but well, as far as I know, even for UKUG, those are like really small, tiny money, and UKUG is huge event, so probably won't notice uh, the, those money coming from Oracle. Well, Oracle. Hello,
Oh, hello, now I can hear you,
anyone?
but yeah, I can hear you, but the
Hey?
video it's like breaking. I am hearing Camille, but I think he's not hearing me. Eu tô ouvindo ele, mas acho que ele não tá
Hello,
me ouvindo. Yes, I can hear
I am
you, Camille.
here.
Can you hear me? Yeah, I am hearing you,
Yeah,
but I
yeah, I
think
can
you're
hear
not.
you.
Yeah,
Something.
yeah, you can hear me. Okay, so we are back. Okay, I think the
Yeah,
connection sometimes
it's
it's
stuck again.
breaking, something like that. Yeah. So let's move on.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Mhm.
Yeah, so Oracle is helping. People from Oracle are helping to the community because there are a lot of awesome speakers from Oracle who come to the conferences, and sometimes they even come with their own money and help. So there are a lot of great product managers that are all the time at the conferences, and they are helping communities by sharing their knowledge and by traveling to the conferences. People like Mike Dietrich, Roger McNichol, like there was Brent Lallewand and a lot of them. Right now, there are a lot of ace directors who were before. There were a lot of there are a lot of org product managers that were before ace directors, like for example Ludovico Caldara, and well, there is a great huge community inside Oracle who helps actual Oracle community out there, but support, official support from Oracle virtually does not exist.
All right, all right. Yeah, and I have a comment here from Erica, and she's saying that it's really sad community help others to know more about the products and service that you can use as a professional. Yeah, I think this year, to be honest, I could see some things changing, and uh, here in Brazil, at least, I could see some programs that they're trying to uh, how can I say that, give space to other people to talk about technology and so on. But the other years, I could see that the other vendors. Sometimes it seems that like Microsoft help the community a little bit more with support, with space and things like that. Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay. And now you're talking about the Oracle Oasis. So, but we didn't talk much about OCM. Can you tell a little bit more about that? How was for you to be an Oracle certified master? And to be the youngest OCM from Poland, it was difficult. You studied a lot. How was this process for you to get this master certified?
Um, well, I actually just did the New Year's resolution that this year I will become a Oracle Certified Master, and I did. And I was actually uh, so focused on preparing to the exam that I had no time to think if it's hard or not. But I actually, based on other people experience with OCM, um, from Poland, people from Poland, I had the impression that it is like extremely hard exam that almost no one passes. Well, actually, it's not that hard if you think about it, because it is about a very broad knowledge of the Oracle database. So you have to know a lot about the Oracle database product, but you still have documentation available on the exam. So if you know what you are looking for, you can find it pretty fast. Mm, and well, there are a lot of tasks that are just uh, doable if you are a day-to-day administrator, because, well, you have to create a database, create real application cluster, create data guard, do some stuff with the data guard, make a simple performance tuning. Well, like it's like a very broad knowledge about the org database, but not a very deep one. So if you are an actual DBA who works with a lot of org database products, it should be easy to pass it. The only problem is that in Poland, we don't have a lot enterprise editions. So
Hmm.
we
Oops, I think the connection got stuck once again. Okay, let's see if he's gonna be back. Okay, I think I'm hearing something. Hello, Camille, can you hear me? No. The
I
video,
don't know.
the video
I
is,
will.
yeah,
I
I'm
will.
hearing you. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna change a place in a
Okay,
home. Maybe will be a bit
sure,
better
that's
over
fine.
here. I don't
Yeah.
know.
If you wanna, you can get
Um,
another beer. I could see that your cup is almost ended.
no. There
Ah,
isn't
okay.
some sips here.
Cool. Yeah.
Mm.
So
So
you're saying about there is a very few enterprise versions on Poland. So
yeah, yeah. For most of the time, I was not working with enterprise editions. I was working with standard editions. So uh, building a data guard was not that common to me. Uh, I did some back then when I was passing OCM exam, I did just a few data guards in my life. So I just had to set up a lot virtual environments and test all. Can
Oh,
you
we have
just?
someone else in our a special guest,
Yeah,
another one. Cool.
yeah, special guest. So um, I had to set up a lot of virtual environments and do you know, my own set of tests and prepare mm, my own exam questions and solve my own tasks. Fortunately, back then, as I said, I was doing quite a lot of training, so I found customers for data guards trainings and track trainings and all the enterprise feature trainings, and I learned to make a training, and this is how I was preparing to OCM. And after doing some trainings for people, it was really easy to pass the exam.
Right, cool. And when you when it was confirmed that you have passed, how did you feel it? You got excited. How was the impact for you to be an OCM?
Well, it was really nice because it was. mm, it was like this very high goal that I set for myself, and I was really proud of myself to pass the exam. But I was always believing that once I will have the OCM, it would mean that I have like this awesome knowledge, and that it will be almost done for me. And it has
Hmm.
occurred that it was only a beginning, because once I learned all those things that helped me to gain OCM, I realized that I actually know nothing, and understand less than when I began to learn to become an OCM. So that's why I was so excited to discover the conferences, because this was actually when my actual knowledge gaining began. Uh, because, even if you are one day at a conference, if you choose your talks properly, you can learn from such awesome people with a
Hmm.
lot of experience. Those people which are like rock stars of the orc world. Uh, and I right now I would recommend everyone not to go to a training, go to a conference, choose a few talks. You will actually learn much, much more from a conference than from a training.
Yeah, I really like that. I will take some note of that. If you would do some recommendation, do not go trainings, go to the conference. I really like that. This is a very good impact phrase for these golden talks. Yeah. And after the OCM, you also became an Oracle Ace director. Can you tell us a little bit about this process? And also, I have a question here from Erica. He said in some message before in the chat. She said, "What is the most thing that you do as an Ace and Ace director?"
The most thing, like
Yeah, I think what you
um,
most use it to do as an Oracle Ace or Oracle Ace director. I think this is the question. But correct me, Erica, if it is
mm,
not correct, okay? For instance,
um,
as an Oracle
well,
Ace, you participate in lots of conference. As an Ace director, you talk with the product management to uh, make the product better, corrections, and things like that.
um, actually, mm, you don't have to be an ace director to talk to product managers, because you don't actually have to be also an ace to talk to product managers and make the product better, because the product managers are very often over there at the conference, and those are most of those people are really awesome, awesome guys and gals, and it's always possible to talk to them, to grab a beer with them, and have a real heart-to-heart talk regarding the org product. Mm, so actually, well, I I never wanted to become an ace just like for some particular reason. I think that I really wanted to be one, uh, because it is easier to be accepted on the conferences when you have uh, the Oracle's badge. Mm, and I really thought that, mm, uh, well, I really love the conferences, so I thought that, well, having an ACE badge will be awesome because I will be accepted to more conferences. And at the beginning, I also thought that, well, you have to be an ACE director to have those, I don't know, calls or meeting with product managers to learn something more or get into the beta testing. Well, actually, you don't need it. I think that having an A's badge was something that, well, is something that most of us gain, well, while being on the roads and while doing the things that we do. But well, for most of people I know who are in the ACE or ACE Director program, it was never a goal itself. Like, I decide to be an ACE and just work to be one. We just gain a badge while doing what we do, and if someone would took this away from us, we would still actually do it, and nothing would have changed. Uh, because, well, once you go to the conference and understand the community, you understand that, well, it's nice to have a badge. It makes a few things easier, but once you know the people, you understand that it doesn't actually matter a lot. So it looks nice in the documents, and on the website, and it makes it easier to go to one or the other conference, or in my example, being an ACE director meant that I can go to San Francisco and speak at the Oracle Code 1, which was impossible for me without being an ACE director. But it was the only thing that actually was used by me as an ACE director. The possibility to go to the ACE director briefing to San Francisco, be there, meet the people that I couldn't meet otherwise, and speak at the Oracle Code 1 during Oracle Open World. But it was only one time, because the next year the COVID broke, and I had no more
Yeah,
chances to use it.
unfortunately, yeah, yeah. But maybe next year you're gonna have these opportunities. And talk about that, you said that you like to travel, right? Being an Oracle Ace
Yep.
director helped you with these travels, and how many countries that you already traveled? Can you talk a little bit about us? And one more thing, when you travel in these countries, there is anything that you like to learn or to know in each country?
Um, yeah. Okay. So usually, when there was a regular conference year, you started to travel from the beginning of the year. So you could go either to Israel or Finland, then in March to Ireland. Um, then you had Riga Dev Days. Then you had Bulgaria, um, well, Poland, of course, Germany, uh, again with Bulgaria, and then UKUG, and between that, some other conferences all over the world, like for example, both in Norway, which was also at the beginning of the year, and it was my normal year to visit all those countries. Uh, Plus, on holidays, some uh, Italy or Mexico or Malaysia or something like that. And I am really a big fan of a beer. So in each of those countries, I also try to find the local breweries and try some craft beers. Uh, but well,
Okay.
there's always some kind of awesome parties and awesome people all around who show you not only the great beer, but also other great, like strong alcohols. Like we just started to talk today, and after 5 minutes, you told me about what was it called in Brazil?
Caipirinha, which is made cachaça. Caipirinha, which is made with
Cachaça,
cachaça.
cachaça.
Cachaça,
Yeah,
yeah. Cool.
yeah.
Cool.
Okay, so
You really need, when you come to Brazil, you need to
cachaça.
taste cachaça.
And
Yeah.
now, yeah, now I need to track it down and taste it.
Yeah, you should. Right.
But okay, it's not all about alcohol. No, no, no.
But it's part
Mm,
of the game, right?
of
Okay.
course it is. Of course it
Yeah.
is.
Yes, a beer always make any talk better. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, especially
Okay.
if you're not a native speaker, it makes tongue more flexible.
Yes. Uh, and you're gonna talk many languages, even the language that you never learned. Okay. Uh,
That's true.
yeah, as you mentioned, I'm gonna talk a short experience. Many golden talks, I sometimes talk about this little experience, and I have one experience some years ago when I was doing an Oracle training, which came at German. Some people from Chile, Colombia, and I think Venezuela, and here in Brazil. And after the training, we went to a pub to drink some beer. And I'm saying that because we started the conversation in Spanish. One of these guys know a little bit Portuguese. Then we changed to English, and we are finished with some words and small phrase in German. So can you imagine this talk? I was thinking like I was a polyglot talking about many languages at the same time, and I never did this before. So beer always help. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
yeah, Camilo, we are already past more than 1 hour with our talk, and I have some quick questions here. One of them I think you already answered, but you can complement. And the question is, what do you want to drink? One, it's beer. There is any other, or it's only beer?
Well, I, I okay, I I know how it will sound, but I'm a fan of all the alcoholic beverages. Uh,
No, it's gonna be
I love
sound as a
I love beer the
DBA.
most.
Yeah. Can I tell
Yeah,
you
I
one
am
thing?
the
I heard
mhm.
once a thing that make a lot of sense. If you pay attention, look around, you're gonna realize that it makes sense. Someone once told that to be an IT professional, you need to be addicted in one thing in life. anything. Most of the guys are addicted to drink. One of them is for gaming, something like that. But if you sum these both things, gaming and things like that, or drinking, it's almost 50% and more from the whole IT professionals around the world, right? If you don't agree, please just tell me.
Yeah,
Okay, so
I have to agree because those are the observable facts. Yeah.
yeah, but please go ahead. You already mentioned about that. You like to many kind of alcohols. Okay, that's nice. And talking about
Yeah.
music, yeah, what is the kind
Oh,
music
music.
and bands that you like?
Well, I really like the rock and the hard rock music. So I was always a big fan of,
Yeah.
yeah, I was always a big fan of Metallica and Iron Maiden
Oh,
and AC/DC,
yeah.
but I also love Pink Floyd and things like Dream Theater or uh, or more soft stuff like Nightwish or oh, not that soft, okay, but I really love film music. Uh, of course, Hans Zimmer or Danny Elfman as compositors, but I also like uh, jazz um, and some classical stuff from time to time, like Rachmaninoff or Bach. But well, it's a really broad spectrum. But yeah, most of the time it's classical rock music.
Oh, yeah, most of these bands that you mentioned, I like it, almost of them. I really like it. And now I'm also from the rock and roll and metal world. I like it. Metallica, Iron Maiden, Pink Floyd, and so on. Yeah, that's very cool. Uh, the next thing it's about sports or hobby. What do you like to do when you are not working or doing some computer stuff? Don't say use your X, okay?
Well,
Please.
no, actually, no. Actually, I rarely use my X right now these days, but
Okay.
I really love photography. So, to blow off some steam, to turn my head to something other than just a black screen with green or white letters. I just do photography. I do fashion photography and landscapes. From time to time, I do fashion photography in a studio with models, with some topics to cover, and this is something that I use to reset my mind. And from sports perspective, I prefer diving and skiing. So those are two things that I have to do each year. One is a diving trip, and this year it was Mexico and diving in cenotes, like part cave, part cavern diving, and the other one is skiing. So this year again, I managed to do the two things. One skiing in Laax in Switzerland, and the other was the diving trip to Mexico. Right now, I am trying to organize a ski trip at the beginning of next year. We always go with like uh, 18 friends, so there's a lot of us, and this is the whole ritual of looking for a place for such a big group, renting a house, and just having fun for a week. So yeah, basically those two things. And of course, since I own, as I told you before, I own two horses, I'm also into the horseback riding. So twice a week I'm in the stables, and I take care of the horses, and we are riding together with my girlfriend twice a week.
This is very, very cool. And you like animals, right? You said that you have three dogs, two cats, and two horses. I remember now.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, two dogs, three cats, and two horses. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Um,
Yeah. Sorry, my mathematics is not good today. Okay.
you have to have more beer. Yeah, I have
Yeah.
quite a lot
Sure.
of animals right now.
Yeah. Drink some beer to make it, to see if my math is gonna be better now. But you are the one that take care with all of these pets, or you have some help with someone.
Uh, well, we are doing this with my girlfriend together. But fortunately, when we leave for a trip, we have someone to leave the pets with, so that's good. We can always leave them with her mother. So when we were in Mexico for 2 weeks, we didn't have to be worried about some pet hotels or something like that.
Okay. Well, I'm just asking because I have just one dog, and the man, believe me, he sometimes do a lot of work. Yeah, just one. I am imagining you
I know.
with so many pets. Yeah. Okay. Uh,
Once
and
you have one, the other one is easy.
yeah, and there is one question that we ask to our guests, and the question is, what is success to Kamil Stawiarski? Yeah.
Mm, For me, it's a possibility not to work for 20 hours a day. It's for me, it's a success is when you actually love your job and you love what you do. You have money from it. You don't have to do it for 20 hours a day, but if you do it 20 hours a day, it means that you love it. It doesn't mean that you have to. And a success is when you can just stop for a minute, turn off your brain, do something else, and well, don't worry that you did it. You don't feel guilt that you stopped working because someone forcing you to do this. So for me, actually, success is to really love what you do and wake up and enjoy your life. It's simple as that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very cool definition, right? And we are almost in the end of our Golden Talks live. And is there any message that you like to share with the professional that are listening to us and are gonna listen later? Because it's being recorded and it will be available on YouTube. What is the message that you wanted to share with many years of experience as a professional, as a guy from community doing a lot of conference as a speaker? So what message do you like to share with all of these people?
um, I think that one message that is actually the core of my belief in learning anything is fuck labels. So you're not a DBA, you're not a programmer, you're not just something. Fuck labels. Just learn everything you can. Just if you want to know something about network, just sit down and learn network. If your network administrator drives you crazy, then learn something and become a network administrator. Don't feel like a DBA or like a developer. Feel like an IT guy on the roads that has so many endings, and you can go wherever you want. And it's not like when you go one road, you can't get back and go to the other, because it's like saying that, well, I once visited uh, uh, this country, and so I can't visit any other countries and learn any other uh, places or learn any other languages. No, you can. You can drink beer, you can drink wine, you can drink vodka or cachaça, and you can have as much pleasure from any of it. So yeah, the only message is fuck labels.
Yeah, I like it. The end make a lot of sense. Yeah, especially in this cloud world, right? Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Camille, I want to once again thank you very much to be here in our Golden Talks. I always say to our guests that you are giving your time, what is the most precious that you have in life. So, thank you to share this time to us to talk about your career, your journey. We are very glad to have you here today. Okay.
Hey, thank you for inviting me. Cheers to everyone. Thank you for being here with us.
Yes. Cheers. Cheers to everyone. And I'm gonna end the Golden Talks as I always do. Of course, in English, it's kind of difficult, but I'm gonna try. Okay, so here we go, guys. If you like this video, don't forget to give your like, subscribe in the channel, and remember the most important thing: share knowledge and replicate this video. Okay, so guys, take a look who is gonna be our next guest, and see you. Have a nice rest. Bye bye. Bye bye, Camille. Thank you.